1 minute and then we'll be live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rhona Segarra, and we welcome you to the Unity Church of New Westminster. If you would please stand and join us in our song, "We See God in Every Face."
We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, lift up our hearts, oh, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, lift up our hearts, oh, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, lift up our hearts, oh, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. 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 Hey!
Put waltz on. Perfect. There we go. Plan A, plan B. We flow with it all. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster on this long weekend. I'm so glad that you are all here joining us today. we were wondering about how many people might come out because it's such a lovely day and it's the long weekend, and I'm so grateful to see you all. So welcome, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, a very warm welcome to you. Glad that you are here. So glad that you are here. And for all of the rest of us who are in the room who have been here before, a very warm welcome home to you all as well. And to people who are joining us either live or on watching on YouTube in the future, on behalf of all of us, we say hello. And we do that with a big wave from everybody. Thank you for joining us as well. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my honor and privilege to be the official minister at Unity of New Westminster. And the reason I say that is to remind you all that each one of us is a ministry, and each one of us ministers. And so I may have a title, but we all have a role. And so glad that I'm here, glad that you are here. The Unity movement, and here at Unity of New Westminster, we offer empowering ideas for full and abundant living. We draw primarily on the teachings of Jesus, and we honor that there is wisdom to be found in faith traditions all over the planet. We recognize that there is wisdom to be found in current work as well as in ancient work. There is wisdom to be found in books, in story, in poetry and prose, in research, in science, as well as in fable. And so we draw on every life experience to see what we can learn from it that will help to create a more free, full, and abundant life for ourselves. No dogma, ideas. Ideas from which we can then decide what works and what we're ready to think about and what may be not for us right now. All are welcome, all are celebrated, and all are worthy here at Unity of New Westminster. So let's begin our service today with a time of prayer. I invite you to close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. As we acknowledge with gratitude that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Cookite First Nation. And on this Canada Day weekend, we consider with gratitude First Nation peoples everywhere and how much they have valued and been custodians of this beautiful land which we share. And we acknowledge that we are all connected, that we are all one, that there is only one power, one intelligence, one creative energy that some call God, others call Creator, others call Yahweh, Allah. Nature, life, the universe, the force, science, quantum. By whatever our understanding for the one power that forms us, that creates us, and in which we live and breathe and have our being, we expand our thinking to include the idea that it is one. And in that power, then, we are all connected. When we uplift the entire system. And as part of that one power, we have power ourselves, each one of us. And in that power, with awareness that we are one, we intend a blessing of love, of peace, of acceptance, of contentment and healing to every person on this planet. We are so grateful for our lives and for the lives of the people around us. And we are so grateful for our power to intend, because we know that it makes a difference. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Rhona. I don't say that enough. I need to say that more. I can see me at home when she hands me my breakfast coffee. Thank you, Reverend Rhona. Nah, doesn't work. Today's daily word for Sunday, July the 2nd, is guidance. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. Seeking divine guidance means tuning out information and opinions and turning inward. Then, with an open heart and quiet mind, I can better feel the nudge of my intuition, my inner voice. I receive divine guidance much in the way flowers in a field soak up sunshine. Just as following the sun is innate for them, I have the instinct to trust my inner knowing. Even if my guidance surprises me, I trust it to lead me in the path of my highest good. I follow where I feel called to. I heed the still, small voice within and pay particular attention to the serendipitous circumstances I find along the way. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. As I do, I deepen my relationship with God, knowing wherever I go, I do not travel alone. The Lord will guide you continually. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11. Thank you.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I rock myself like a newborn baby child. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
Imagine holding yourself like a newborn baby child. If it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes. Otherwise, just let them rest gently on a focal point in front of you somewhere. Become aware of your breath. How it breathes in and out, giving you life-giving oxygen, removing that no longer serves you. We don't pay attention to our breath. But when we do, it helps us to slow down. And now, Notice your thoughts. Notice the thinking that is going on in your brain right now. And don't engage necessarily. But notice how your mind never stops. And for the next little while, sink beneath those thoughts. And instead draw your attention to your chest, to your heart, to your throat. And imagine breathing from there. And now, imagine that you are walking along a path. And it's a path that has all of the busyness, all of the responsibilities, all of your everyday life. And as you walk, you see beside you and in the distance a bridge. Not a big bridge, a pretty one that looks inviting. And so you cross over. And on the other side, you imagine this grass soft beneath your feet. And fragrant. And you see that there are flowers and trees filled with color, vibrant in every way. And as you walk along this grass and you feel this softness, and you smell the flowers and the freshness, you feel this peace filling every part of your body. And ahead of you, you see a light. And you walk towards the light because it's inviting you in. And as you approach that light and its warmth and its brightness, you see that it is you. And you walk towards it. And the light reaches out towards you. And you reach out towards that light, which is you. And that light says, "Welcome. I've been waiting for you." And you bask in that light. and you feel its forgiveness for all the things that you've done, that you have judged yourself for. You feel its grace, its acceptance, its love. And you realize that light is you. And at times, after a time, you know that you need to turn around and return to the other side of the bridge. And so you do that. But you do it light, brighter, lighter, more enlightened. And you realize that bridge is always with you. And in fact, there is no bridge. All you need to do is turn to the light. That is you. The light of love. The light of forgiveness. The light of grace. You.
Gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child, and I rock myself like a newborn baby child, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child, and I love myself like a newborn baby child.
I just moved into that. It was not the meditation I had planned. It was the meditation that felt right. For those of you who have the app, commercial break, if you have the app and you want to take notes, then the second box on your app allows you to take notes while you are listening. So quite often what happens is people have thoughts and insights and they think, oh, I want to keep I'm going to remember this. And it's like waking up from a dream when you know you're going to remember the dream and then 5 minutes later it's gone. Well, that's what this is for. So if you have the app, please feel free to use your phone. This is the last week, I promise, for this go-around of the 4 agreements, which I do every 3 or 4 years. And what's interesting about this series, the book, The 4 Agreements, and these 4 apparently simple agreements, is that the more you look at it, the more interesting they become. And the more you can peel back the onion and realize that it can mean something at one level and another level and another level. The idea of these agreements is that as children and as members of a productive society, we need to have some order placed in our lives. And sometimes that order becomes a little oppressive. And so what starts out as making sense can sometimes end up being a dictum, it being a dogma, being this is the way things have to be. And some of the things that we have grown up thinking that this is the way things have to be is not necessarily serving us today. But they are things that come up generationally from our parents, through their parents' parents, and for thousands of years of humanity. And with every generation, I'm sure, because I know I felt it, it's like, well, my generation gets it better than my parents' generation did. And I'm sure my parents' generation thought that about their parents, and so on and so on. And I'm very hopeful that that will continue. But it took me a while to realize that this isn't it, that we're continuing to evolve and continuing to expand and continuing to amend the agreements that we've been told are the way things should be. And in his book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, we are encouraged to think of the idea of breaking some of the agreements that have kind of kept us smaller than we'd like to be and that we naturally are. And so the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, as in don't do anything where you use your ability to create to do something that goes against you. It is more than just words. Your word is your ability to create. And so the very first agreement, which we spent 2 weeks on, a little bit last week and a full week prior to that, is about don't do anything that goes against yourself. That means meaning what you say, saying what you mean, but it's bigger than that. It's watch what you're creating. Don't make yourself small. Then the second agreement is don't take anything personally. And for me, this one in some ways feels more of a challenge, because the idea of not taking something personally is really, really hard when somebody's in your face telling you what they think of you, or telling you what they think you can or cannot do. And the invitation there is to don't bite the hook. as Pema Chodron puts it. Don't bite the hook. Don't engage in somebody else's power or somebody else's opinion. Because you have an opinion of your own, and it's as valid. And frankly, for yourself, it is more valid. So don't believe everything you hear. And today I want to spend some time on the third agreement. More time on the third agreement, which is don't make assumptions. Now, I spent an entire week talking about not making assumptions already, but through discussions that happen after, at Wisdom Wednesday discussion groups, and then through life experiences, I started to realize that this assumptions thing happens all the time. And it can create hell for us right here. And so I want to talk a little bit about this. And if you recall from when I did it the first time, I created a framework for us to look at. And I used NCI and S. NCI, S, and A, because I figure we should be detectives in this. We should be researchers when we're looking at some of this. And so the framework that I suggested was N, to notice. Notice when we're avoiding something, or notice, and this is one that Walt is familiar with, is don't arrive before you get there. Notice when you're jumping to a conclusion that is 5 steps in the future, but you haven't even left home yet. So the first is notice. And how can you tell when you're noticing? When that's happening, when you've started to make those jumps and leaps of deduction, you start to feel agitated. You start to feel discomfort or anxious, or you start planning what you're going to say when they say, and none of it's happened yet. So, notice. And then we moved to C. And C was have the courage to ask for clarity. And now I'm going to add to that C with another one, which is notice the consequences. So that idea of this is making my life miserable and it hasn't happened yet. I've arrived, but there's no need for it. And then be willing to have the courage to look at what's happening, to ask for clarity if it's with another person, to ask for inner clarity when it's you creating that misery for yourself. And I use the word courage very intentionally, even for ourselves. It's easy to make sense that, I'm not going to ask someone else something because I'm afraid of their reaction. But why is it that we have such difficult times, at times, asking ourselves, what is it? What's going on for me? So have the courage. And the reason it's scary is because we are inviting ourselves to challenge our own BS, belief system. And nobody really feels comfortable doing that, because what if it turns out our belief system was inaccurate? Then it's like, ooh, something I counted on is no longer true. Well, good. The nature of our universe is change. And it's exciting when we can look at something and go, I believed that yesterday, but it's not true for me today. Isn't that great? It does not need to be something that we're afraid of. And then we move to I, which is inquire. And what came in the last little while, since that talk when I did the full week on this, turns out this is another full week on this, is the way you can ask yourself the question is, the story I'm making up about this is. The story I'm making up about this is. And it's perfect because you can use that with a person as well if you're wanting clarity. It's not making it about them at all. It's just saying, help me to understand, because the story I'm making up about this is, and whatever it might be. And then we move to the S, which is, this is a story, and is it true? What's the true? And then the final answer, or the final one, I added A, which is to accept whatever comes up. And whatever is right for you may still be to maintain the story, and also to take action, to respond. So here's a couple of examples for you about this, because that's just frameworky stuff. Imagine that you know that you are hurting, but you don't want to go to the doctor. What assumptions are you making? The assumptions are things like, I don't want to know. Something bad is going to happen. So the story I make up is, I don't like doctors. I don't trust doctors. I don't want to know. I don't want to be a bother. There are lots of people who are sicker than I am. It may be, well, I'm getting older, and so it's, not something that needs to be dealt with. I'm going to die soon anyway. I actually had my dad say that to me. It's a normal part of aging. It'll get better. This is not serious. If I don't look at it, it'll go away. Or one which gets used way too much is, if I give it energy, then it's going to make it bigger. And so if I pretend it's not there, that's better. Well, that may be true, but that's a story as well. What's the truth? Well, the truth is that I'm living in misery because I'm all thinking about all of these things and I'm uncertain. So the truth is, a little bit of knowledge about what's going on will actually equip me better than the anxiety I'm feeling now. And the truth is that not many people have ever said, gee, I wish I'd waited longer before I got my diagnosis and got treatment. So when we make an assumption that doctors aren't great, or I'm getting older so it's okay, and this isn't able to be treated, and all of those beliefs, see them for what they are. Stories. And then find a story that makes you feel better. And making it up anyway. And then take the action. If it's pleasant news, obviously you can relax. Don't have to think about it anymore. If it's unpleasant news, now you're armed with information that you can respond intelligently to, rather than pretending that you're not thinking about it as you're thinking about it. Let's move to another example, another assumption that we make, and it's dotted line to this previous one that I said, and that is that I brought this on, whatever it might be. My job loss, the breakdown of my relationship, the fight I had with my brother, the car accident, the health issue, the whatever. I brought this on. It was because I wasn't, and here goes the stories. It was because I didn't pray enough. I didn't meditate enough. I didn't tell God that I loved God enough. It's karma. It's something that I've held in mind, and so I've brought it to me. I deserve this because of something bad that I've done. Assumptions, stories. What if the truth is that life happens? What if the truth is, yes, you have power, but thankfully you're not the only thing that has power? That you're living in a field of energy that interrelates. And so, yes, you can take a certain amount of responsibility for the stuff that happens in your life, but no, you're not in isolation. You're working in a field of energy, living in a field of energy where other people are also energetic beings, and there is invisible energy that also impacts us in various ways. So we're part of it, but we're not all of it. And we don't need to take on such horrible burdens as, I deserve this, I must have done something wrong. Maybe you just have a heartbeat. Maybe you're just part of the human experience, which includes the good stuff and the not so fun stuff. Maybe you could remember that what we say here at Unity is there is no spot that God is not. There is no spot where energy is absent. So there's no God and the devil, no place that's really good or bad. It just is. And if you find that anyone ever challenges you about this, including yourself, about the idea that you are responsible for everything that happens to you, well, if that was frickin' true, then wouldn't you have changed it? So if you brought this on because of some karmic something, and you had the power to do that, well, then you would have the power to undo that. That's a BS that is truly a BS. So accept. Accept that these assumptions about us being responsible for the bad things that happen in our life need not be true. And now you can work with it more intelligently without this berating of you're not worthy, you've done something to deserve this. Hence the song today, to be gentle with yourself. And if you must assume, and it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, then why not choose a story that has a good intention? There's a story that's told about 3 frogs. And they're hopping along one night, and they land in this ditch, and it's really, really deep. And one frog manages to get out. And he yells down at the other 2 frogs that are down in this ditch, and he's like, hop, hop, get out, get out. And one, I'm going to get it wrong, he says, give up. That's right. I screwed up the story. Geez, now I'm like my mom. She's so good at giving the punchline at the end, before the end is up. Anyway, the fruit does not fall from the tree. My dad was the excellent storyteller. Okay, start again. 3 frogs are jumping along one night, and 2 of them land into this deep ditch. And the guy who didn't land looks down and he says, it's too far. Give up. That's what it is. He says, give up. And these little guys are jumping like crazy, and the frog who's on the top says, it's never going to work, just give up. And one of the frogs dies. He croaks, if you will. And the other one keeps trying to jump. And eventually, he makes it out. And the frog who was at the top saying, give up, is like, wow, what happened? And he said, oh, now I can hear you. Did you forget? I'm hard of hearing. So when you were doing this, I thought you were saying, jump, try harder. And I listened. And the moral of the story is assume a good intention. There's lots of morals, I guess, we could make from that. But today, for today, make an assumption that is positive, that's going to give you life, that's not going to cause you to croak. You're making it up anyway. From the book, all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. All of the sadness and drama you have lived is rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally, taking things on. So do have the courage when you find yourself arriving at a conclusion before you've even left the station. Have the courage to see the discomfort that you are creating for yourself. Have the courage to look at the consequences on you. And then ask the question, what's the story I'm making up here? And choose a story that is closer to making you feel better if you can't find a true answer. Remember, you're making it up. you might as well make up something that brings you joy. Remember those frogs. Maybe be a little hard of hearing. The 4 agreements allow you to consider ideas, to consider a different way of doing things. And don't make assumptions is a very powerful invitation to set yourself free from misery that may not have happened. Don't make assumptions. I bless you.
You're hearing the call, you're feeling the pull, but it's buried deep inside. When you were young, when you were brave, you used to try it on for size. Then you got lost, then you got scared, and maybe life got in your way. But every day brings a new chance, and every song has its own dance. Take the floor, find your feet, start to move to your own beat, start living your dreams, 'cause they were meant to be. Like an old friend calling again, you haven't seen it in a while. Maybe you'll laugh, maybe you'll cry, but it's gonna make you smile. Open your eyes, open your heart, and just remember who you are, 'cause every day brings a new chance, and every song has its own dance. Take the floor, find your feet, start to move to your own beat, start living your dreams, 'cause they were meant to be. The time is now and it's still on your side. How much longer are you gonna hide? 'Cause every day brings a new chance, and every song has its own dance. Take the floor, find your feet, start to move to your own beat, start living your dreams, 'cause every day brings a new chance. Your favorite song has its very own dance. Take the floor, find your feet, start to move to your own beat, start living your dreams, 'cause they were meant to be.
Here are today's announcements. They're minimal. We'll try to keep it as brief and as short as possible. Our Monday meditation and prayer service has moved to a mixed format. Last week we called that a hybrid format. Mixed. That means that it will be in person, on Zoom. However, because of the long weekend, tomorrow's meditation service will be on Zoom only, so there won't be anybody present here. We enjoy a guided meditation, and we read the names of the people who are on our prayer list. Speaking of an energy field, prayer enfolds us all, separately as individuals and as a community. If you would like your name added to the prayer list, or if you want to add someone's name who you feel needs or can use help in prayer, then please fill in a prayer request slip and place it in the offering basket. Send it to us on email, submit it as a prayer request, or on our website, or on the app. Please join us on Zoom tomorrow, not in person. There won't be anybody here. From 10:30 to 11:15. Okay, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. on Zoom is Wisdom Wednesday. And Reverend Rhona hosts a discussion about the previous Sunday's message. That would be today's message. It's a time to explore and share ideas in a safe and confidential space. The Zoom link is on the website, in the weekly email newsletter, and on the app. If you aren't able to join us on your computer, you can also call in and join us on the phone. A replay of today's talk can be found on the website and on the app. All are welcome, as Rhona says. If you are available for a while after service today, we are going to touch up the paint on the Medicine Wheel Labyrinth and clean up the landscaping on the labyrinth and on the property. When the work is done, we'll place the plants into their home on the labyrinth, install the fountain, and finalize the signage. All of that's going to be done today? Ooh. Okay. Yeah, and Rhona and I are not going to be here because she has a wedding to perform. Okay, please plan to stay and work for a while outside and help us finish the unique project and maintain the beauty of our spiritual community. A dedication of the labyrinth is planned for the fall. Ooh. We are grateful for your gifts which support our ministry. Many of our community contribute with pre-authorized payments, so if you are not adding anything to the basket, please bless it silently as it passes you. As we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something that you're grateful for, because we are blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Lila's checking things out over there. We are indeed so blessed. Blessed by this community, by this place, by this country that we live in, by each one of you and your presence here today. Remember, you're a ministry. Don't let it freak you out. Just go do it. Thank you to Lyle and to Cliff, who are on our audiovisual team today. Thank you for being there to do that. and to Gisela, who is our greeter today, and to Walt, who was a platform person today. Thank you, sweetie. And to each one of you who are here, I am so very grateful to you. Please stay for tea and coffee and munchies. There's always lots of good munchies, and we won't be heading out right away, but yes, I have a wedding to do in Squamish, so it'll be super fun. Shall we, let's see if we can hold hands and sing our peace song and our prayer for protection together in a circle. Let's see if we can make that circle today. Thank you all so much for being here. And don't make any assumptions.
That was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God. Where